Let me go ahead and bring out my model here. All right, you guys, so first of all, let's go over the partings for this haircut. So it's a pretty easy, I don't want to say easy, you know, because whenever we say easy, we discredit ourselves. It's a very, you just part it off. You part it off so you know exactly where you're gonna go, and then you can really execute this haircut. But this is what I did. The easiest way to describe this parting section I did was more of a Pac-Man. As you can see, hey Leah! As you can see in the front, this fringe area right here, I go ahead and I pull out the fringe area there. And as you notice, in my fringe here, I don't go back to a point, right? So I'm not looking for like a watermelon slice, right? I'm looking for a little bit more of a curve because on our heads, it's a little bit more curved. God, all I got is curved. But it's a little bit more curved. So you want to go ahead and have this a slight curve to that because as it falls down, it's gonna lay best with the hair. So from here, it goes all the way down, and I'm gonna actually lift this up so you guys can see it up close here. So it goes up to where the recession area is. So right here is her recession area. So that is our fringe section. For those of you that are consumers out there, that's your bang. Girl, it's your bang. But we call it the fringe area. And then from here, we're gonna go ahead and take it all the way around, just like this, all the way to the other side of the recession area. And we're gonna go ahead and just clip off that top part because this is the cherry on top. This is what we're gonna spend a lot of love on with this haircut. So for those of you that are just jumping on, just to kind of show you guys again what we're gonna be creating today, we're gonna create more of a really texturized haircut. This haircut lives between a shag and a mullet. I mean, if they had a baby, it would pop out the wolf haircut. So we're gonna be doing a longer version on her today, but I just did this one maybe an hour or so ago to show you guys a little bit more of a shorter version of this. It's a really fun haircut. If I had hair, girl, maybe I would go here. I'm adventurous. I would go here, I would. How many of you guys would actually wear this behind the chair as a stylist there, huh? Let me see. How many of you? Leah, I know you would go ahead and wear this. All right, you guys, so we're gonna go ahead and start this. So we're gonna start with the front area first. So I'm gonna be doing a dry haircut for you guys. And before I jump into this dry haircut, I want you guys to understand like cutting wet and cutting dry. So, you know, with both of them, I personally cut about 95% dry, you know, because I like to customize it as I go along. That way I'm very visual. If I'm doing a really strong geometric haircut, I'll do a wet cut. You know, I will do a wet cut. I will break it out nice and solid. But for something more texturized like this, I'm choosing to do more of a dry haircut. Or if I were to do it wet, I would do it more with a razor to give me that texture, you know, to break out that texture. But today we're gonna be doing a dry haircut. So I'll be breaking out my dry scissors. You know, because we have scissors that, you know, they're great for dry haircuts, and then we have scissors that are best for wet haircuts. So today I'll be doing my dry hair cutting with you guys. All right, so we're gonna start here in the front. So once again, we're gonna grab our, I don't wanna say triangular section. It's, you know what it is? It's not a triangle section, it's a watermelon slice with a bite taken out of it. There we go. And that's how we're gonna get that curve up top there. All right, so first things first, we're gonna grab the hair and I'm gonna bring it down to her nose first. So we're gonna focus on this area first, and I wanna bring it down to her nose. We're gonna, you know, the hair is naturally gonna bounce up. She was prepped with we have our thickening shampoo and thickening conditioner, so I did that first. And then I used a little bit of our design foam and our neem plant serum as the base of this. So she has some nice slip in here too. So here we go. I'm gonna go ahead and bring it all to the middle here. Now, I'm not gonna pinch it all the way up. I wanna bring it towards the middle, but I'm not pinching it. Like if I pinched it, it would be like, and I'm not twisting it. I'm not looking for that arch to be happening here. So I wanna bring it in here, bring it down by the nose, and we're gonna start from the one side and start to work our way towards that middle. Just like this. Pull down that hair once you cut it. And I do a ton of point cutting, you guys. Like, it's, you know, I just love texture. I love texture. I love giving it that lived in look. And I think that's what makes it different. You know, that's what makes you different behind the chair than another hairstylist out there, is you're taking the time to go through. It does take a little bit longer to be like point cutting, but it looks so much better. And we're just going through here, and I'm getting rid of a lot of that length right now. And then I'm gonna grab my comb and go ahead and recomb it again into my hand here. And now I'm just gonna go ahead and break it up a little bit more. So once again, I'm using my point cutting technique. And I'm gonna go ahead and use my other texturizers I have with my Hanzo shears. So here we go. This is gonna help really break it up for me. And then once I do this and I point cut into this to soften it up, I'm gonna actually go ahead and take the left side of the fringe here first. Or actually, it's what? My right, your left. No, actually, it's your right. It's mirrored. So we're gonna go ahead and lift this up. I'm gonna lift my arm out of the way so you guys can see it. And you're gonna see this point right here. Do you guys see this point? This point lives down here in the front. So we're gonna be layering the fringe up. So I'm going right down the middle. And from here, we're just gonna lift it on up just like this. And just so you guys can see where I'm going with this. And we're just gonna point, cut that in, just like that. And I'm just texturizing it up because I really want it to fall nice and texturized. And as you can see, as it starts to fall, you can see the difference between more softer than, you know, blunty. So, you know, this haircut was a trend on TikTok there a little while back ago, and people would just pull up their hair in a ponytail up front. They would just chop it, and it would just be like this, like big old like weight line, and your heart would, you as a hairstylist, so, whoo, what is happening, y'all? What is happening? So we just want to go ahead and texturize that out. So we're gonna go ahead, we did the one side, we're gonna jump onto the other side. So as I go ahead and bring it on up. So you can see where, you see how it's that peak in there? So this is like the gut. If a hair had a gut on it, this is what it would be. It would be the part that's like sticking out here. So you gotta really make sure to chisel that out. We're looking for a 6-pack here. Okay, so here we go. We're pulling it up just like this. And here's my guide from the other side. So there is a guide that I'm following. We're not just cutting to cut. But as you can see here, hold on one second. Let me adjust this there we go, perfect. So as you can see, it's falling a little bit softer. And now I'm gonna actually go through here one more time with my texturizers because I do wanna soften it right off the bat. Because this way, you know, I like to texturize it as I go. This way, you know, for time-wise too, you're not doing a full haircut, going back, giving them like a second haircut. So just do it like right there. If you see it, adjust it. And what I'm doing in the front here, I'm taking a little triangle section up front, just like this, because I want that front piece to fall a little bit shorter than the rest, right? So do you start to see that shape happening there? Just like this. And it falls nice and soft. There, we're done. No, all right, so now that we have our fringe area here, we're gonna go ahead and bring it around. Bring it on around. So from the side, we're gonna grab the hair that's falling on the side right here, right in, like above the ear. I should just draw on my head one of these days, y'all. You can see, forget the head forms, y'all. I'm just gonna draw right on my head. But it's gonna be right here above my ear. We're gonna grab all that hair, and from here, we're gonna go ahead and direct it all forward, right? So we are directing it forward. And as I'm directing it forward, it's a little bit more over-directed. Now here's where you customize it, you guys. So this is where the shag meets the mullet. If y'all wanna keep it a little mullety and keep it a little bit longer, then really, really, really over-direct it because it's gonna preserve that length down in the back here. You know, party in the front, business in the front, party in the back. So if you're looking for that party in the back, really over direct it to keep that length. But we're gonna do something in between, right? We're gonna have a business party here. So we're gonna grab that section. I'm gonna turn her around so you guys can see it. Let me know if I'm blocking the camera with my armpit. All right, so here we go. We're gonna bring it on now. Now what I'm doing is, as I over direct it, I'm gonna go ahead and find my guide, which is the fringe area that we did, right? And that's where it is. I'm gonna go right above my fingers, and I'm just gonna go ahead and start to cut down. And it's starting to create these nice, like, more like face framing layers. So I'm just bringing it over just like this once again, and we can go ahead and tweak it all we want. I'm just going right above. And we are, woo, she's looking good. There we go, and I'm gonna go back into it one more time. So once again, it's very visual. This is where you can go ahead and customize it as well too. And it's one of those things where these are techniques that we're showing you guys. Then you could go ahead, you know, when you're behind the chair and customize them, make them your own. It was funny, yesterday I was promoting my little live, you know, I had my dog, you know, Benny Mushi was here with me, and I was like, we're gonna be doing the wolf haircut. And I'm like, if we did a dog version, it'd be the woof haircut. There's your dad joke for the day. But it's a really cute haircut. I think it's great. I think every stylist should have this under their belts for sure. I'm just gonna go ahead and just use a little point cutting because I wanna see a little bit more separation, a little bit more definition on those ends. Just like this. And you're gonna see afterwards, we're gonna go ahead and with the dry texture spray that we have with Lanza, it's gonna break out that separation. And we also have air paste as well too. But you know, we can do a combination of both, but I prefer the dry texture spray for sure. So all of this, I'm just gonna be bringing it forward here. Now I'm just going a little bit behind the ear, bringing it forward into that line, and we're looking good. So now that I have this side done, I'm gonna go ahead and jump onto the other side here. So we're going from side to side, just like Ariana Grande says, right? Got me going like side to side, right? That's what we're doing. We're jumping onto the other side here. So instead of doing this whole side first, then jumping onto this, it's good to go back and forth. This way you can see it with your eye. If you need to make an adjustment, you can make the adjustment necessary. Once again, you want to avoid doing a full haircut and then all of a sudden having to do another haircut. Because time is money, y'all. And for those of you that aren't hairstylists behind the chair, time is money for us, okay? So keep your appointments. All right, so I'm gonna be turning her head this way so you guys can see it. There we go. So once again, here is my fringe area. This is my guide that I'm going off of. And I'm gonna grab first, right, all that hair by the ear here, and we're gonna over direct it. And from here, I'm just gonna go ahead and glide it on down. We're doing some face framing. Y'all can see it. Just like that. And I'm just gonna go right back in it again. And now this is, once again, point cutting is what makes, I feel like what makes this haircut for sure. The texture, throw some texture into it, especially on those edges. And point cutting is more for the edges, but then I'm gonna show you some cool texturizing techniques to really personalize it as well too. So I'm gonna actually stand on this side so you guys can see it. There we go. I'm just gonna do some point cutting in the front here. Once again, I wanna see a little bit more of that separation. And what I'm doing is I'm doing like, they're light point cuts. I'm not like taking big old bites out of it. I'm just doing like little chews, right? Like little chews. So I'm using like the tip of my scissor like it's a pencil. And then from here, we're just gonna grab this hair that's behind the ear too, and we're just gonna bring it forward. Let me spin her around here. And there we go. So we have our face framing layers happening in here. So we got our base here, and now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna jump into the rest of it in the back before we get to the top part here. So now we're gonna do a thing called concave layering. So concave layering is really gonna give you that volume in there, but still preserving that length. So once again, we want it to be longer in the back here. So we're gonna go ahead and do concave layers. So I'm gonna grab a vertical section first, and we are gonna bring it on up. I'll stand right behind it so you guys can see. We're gonna bring it on up just like this. And so in my head, what I'm looking for is the head shape. Like, where do I want that hair to fall? So on her, I would actually want that first layer, because this is a rocky hair. It's pretty texturized and great. So I want it to fall somewhere in this range, right? I don't want it to fall too short, because then it's just gonna stick up like a little birdie. So I want something that's gonna give me volume, but I want that, that texture underneath. And depending on, you know, somebody with really, really thick hair, they would benefit from this, you know, taking out most of that weight that's underneath here. So then that way it's not this big old blood, you know, it looks texturized, it looks lived in. So once again, I'm gonna be taking my vertical section. We're gonna bring it on up, just like this. And here it is. I'm just bringing it straight up like this. And you see that angle happening going towards her head? That, my friends, is what we call concave. Concave. I'm gonna look in the chats here. Do you guys have any questions so far? Who's out here? What's up, Adriana? Leah, what's up, girl? Hi, Joyce. Hi, Thea. My Aunt Frances is on. Hi, Thea. All right, you guys, I'm gonna keep on working around the head. So we're gonna be taking a traveling guide. And a traveling guide, for those of you that aren't familiar, is a guide that's doing what it says. It's traveling. It's going around the head. It's not a stationary guide where we keep this right here, then we bring everything to it. We're actually gonna take it and move around the head shape with it. And we're gonna stop right behind the ear. So I don't wanna go forward. So once again, we're gonna start in the back middle, just like this. We're gonna hold it on up, point cut. We're gonna take our next section. We're gonna hold it on up. Once again, here's my guide. So you can see your guide as you're doing it. I always tell like newer stylists too, like, know where you're going first. Like, don't just start cutting just to cut. Like, draw it out if you have to. Know where you're going. Because if you don't know where you're going, your client's gonna know you don't know where you're going. It's like being in an Uber and your Uber doesn't know where he's going. You know. All right, so we're gonna grab our next section. We're gonna be directing it upwards just like this. There we go. Now you can actually go ahead. So here's the thing too. If you want to save even more time too, if you were to go ahead and do more of a, as I'm lifting her hair up, you can see that her ends are a little bit already texturized. So if I wanted to, I can straight up do blunt like this and then go back into it and then break it up like that too. So you can do that as well too. Especially if you see that their ends are a little bit more, like they're already lived in. You don't need to put any more texture in their ends. So once again, we're gonna, and I'm gonna actually do that on the rest of this. I'm just gonna cut like this first and then go in and texturize. Just like this. I'm gonna be bringing her closer so you guys can see it a little bit close shot. So I'm right here by her ear now. So I'm getting closer to her ear. Remember, it's a traveling guide. We're gonna go ahead and lift it on up. Can you guys see that right here? This right here is our guide. Y'all see it? Yes? There's this. I wanna take out that gut that's right there. It's like Jenny Craig for the hair. I'm all about analogies. I'm very visual, y'all. I'm very visual. Okay, so then once we do this is the back area here. So then once we do this, I'm gonna go ahead and bring all that hair that's even in the front here, I'm gonna be bringing it back into this section to make sure it all falls in there. And it does, so she's looking pretty good. Okay, so now I'm gonna go onto the other side. So see, we have our movement in here, and then I'm gonna go ahead and do a quick little travel over this way. So once again, I'll be pulling this hair back. I can see my guide. And from there, I'm just gonna go ahead and remove that weight. Yeah, and one thing also what I do too, you guys, that's, you know, it's things that we do as like hairstylists, like little tricks and stuff. When I do dry hair cutting as well too, I like to use the Lustrous Shine Spray I put onto it. It gives it a little bit more of a slip as well too. So you get a little bit more of a slip. The great thing about this shine spray, it's not like it doesn't look like she's been sweating. It's not like oily, it's very light. So I can spray this onto the hair, a nice little mist to give it a nice shine, but it also gives me some nice glidage. You know, a glidage, I'm making up my own words now, with my comb and my scissor. So depending if they have really, really thick hair, I'm gonna wanna use the big teeth of my comb. If they got finer hair, you know, you wanna go ahead and grab the section with the bigger teeth, but then switch to the finer teeth because it gives you more control. So as I'm going through, once again, I'm seeing like what ends already have texture in them. So I'm not putting extra texture in those ends that don't need it. So on her, she needs a little bit more movement on her mids in here. I can see her ends have texture, but I really want to give those mids even more movement. I was telling somebody, what was it, the other day, I was like, man, if only I knew the stuff I know now when I had hair, woo! I would look so good, y'all. I would look so good. But right now, this is what I got to settle with. Okay, so here we go. Now we're going to do, it's more of an invisible layering technique that we do. So I'll be doing that right in here. So I'm looking for where the weight is. So there is weight happening in here. So I'm going to grab, once again, that vertical section. And I'm going to do like 3 weaves like this. And then start to slide cut out. So once again, and as I'm doing this, I'm not touching the hair that's down here. This is like the mids, y'all. This is like the middle. This is like the stomach of the hair. So we're gonna grab that section. We're gonna do 1, 2, 3, turn the scissors towards you, and you're just gonna go ahead and slowly chew. We're chewing, we're doing this little movement. It's so light, we're not chopping. We're not doing this, we're doing this little, make the sound effect if you need to, whatever helps you. But we're going through and doing that. 1, 2, 3, turn it towards you. Here we go on to the next section here. 1, 2, 3. So this cut goes pretty quick, you guys. It really does. 1, 2, 3. Just like that. And now we're gonna go on to the other side here as well too. We'll be pulling it out just like this. 1, 2, 3. And as you notice, once again, I'm slowly chiseling, like I'm not chopping through it. It's a slow little chisel. Because if you chopped it, y'all, she's gonna have a big old chop mark there. So you wanna keep it nice and soft. 1, 2, 3. Just like that. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually adjust the baseline here very quick. So here's the thing about the baseline. I like to do that last, only because I want to preserve as much length as possible. And then, I'll go ahead and build the bridge to whatever length I get back here, especially if you want to preserve that length. And with her, like I said, I want to preserve the length because we already did a cut that's a shorter version of this haircut. So you guys can see it. When I say me, it's me and my Gemini twin. So we created this cut for you guys so you guys can see it, short, a shorter version. Okay, so here we go. So now I'm going to adjust the baseline a little bit. Let me turn her around here. Because the characteristics of this is it is more, if you think about shapes, it's a little bit more round in the front and it goes longer in the back, right? So think of that like the shapes that you're putting into the hair. And once again, you guys, if you have any questions whatsoever, put them in the chat below, and I promise I will get back to you like right after this. I know some of you are on time crunches, so I want to get this out so you guys can get all the information. Because it's a Wednesday, y'all. It's a Wednesday. It's a busy Wednesday in the salon, right? And you'll see, like after I go ahead and do the haircut today, I'm going to do the style around 2 o'clock today on my personal Instagram. So this is my handle, y'all. I got to give you all my handle. So it's @Vasified is my personal Instagram handle. And then my salon is @Studio Vasi Salon. So here it is. Make sure to see me at 2 o'clock today on my Instagram. I'll break down the full style of that as well too. So time-wise today, we'll have enough time for the haircut. And then for the style, I'll be breaking it down for you guys on there. So once again, just as I'm going through it, I'm adjusting this. I want the front to be a little bit more piecier here. So just kind of texturizing that front piece there. Once again, here she is. Okay, so now here we go. Now that I adjusted the baseline, we're gonna go ahead up to the top. This is the cherry on top, you guys. So what I do is, with that top section, I wanna see where my shortest layer lives in the back right now. So this is where my shortest hair lives, right? So there has to be some kind of connection, some kind of bridge to bring it over. So I'm gonna see where that should be. So what I'm gonna do is grab my texturizing scissors. Once again, if you don't have a pair of texturizing scissors, invest in them. They're great. It makes life way easier. But what I'm gonna do is grab the hair just like this, and right up top, I'll bring her up close so you guys can see it. So we're gonna go ahead and pull it on up just like this. And from the back, I'm just gonna go ahead and start to cut all this hair off because we don't want this hair. Goodbye. We're gonna be giving her some volume. Goodbye, so long. And then from there, you wanna get rid of all that hair. So you can even use like your wet brush here to go through and just brush out the hair that you just cut to make it easier. And I'm gonna turn her this way. So now as we were doing concave there, I'm still gonna go around here and continue that journey just to make sure it's all connecting here. So see how that long piece got out? Not today, you are not pass and go. Here we go. So I'm just pivoting right now, using this top middle section here as the apex. I'm using technical terms now, y'all. So the apex is the highest point of your head. And the way to find the apex is put a comb on top, and that's where that pivot point is gonna be. So I'm going right off of her apex, and I'm going around like it's pizza slices. Now, I don't know what pizza you like, y'all, but actually I don't even know what I like anymore. I just like pizza. It has to be pepperoni. Pepperoni, I'm a pepperoni man. I love a good pepperoni pizza. Here we go. We're just gonna be bringing this over and see how that big old gut here, we just gotta chop right into that. So once again, we are bringing it up. This is still part of the concave family that we are doing down below here. Just like this. And then now what I'm gonna do, woo, look at all that texture happening in here. So now what I'm gonna do is grab that top section that we just cut. I'm gonna be bringing it forward, and we're gonna be cutting it into the fringe line that we have here. So I'm gonna grab that middle first, right? So almost like you're doing the fringe again, but start to grab a little bit more hair that's behind. And from here, I'll be bringing it right down into my line here. I can see my guide, and we're just gonna go ahead and texturize. Point cut. These are gonna want a point cut because you want them to fall nice and soft. Just like this. Woo! She's looking good. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and grab our next section just like this. And once again, it's more in the top part that we're focusing on. So I'm not gonna pull all of this into this because I wanna keep that length. I don't want it to be too short there. So it's totally up to you. And if you have any mannequin heads you can play around with at the salon, or if you have any clients that are adventurous, invite them in, have some fun with them. I think that one of the things that clients, they'll go to their hairstylist, they're like, I want something different. And then their hairstylist gives them a little trim. The client's like, okay, I feel the same. So this is different. If somebody has longer hair, they don't have bangs. I mean, of course their features have to support it, but you want to give them they want something different. You got something different. I get very passionate about this kind of stuff, you guys. If you can't tell. So we're gonna go on to the other side here. Let me make sure my arm isn't in the way. There we go. So once again, I'm using my area here There's my guide from the front. I'm just gonna flip it up so I can see where I'm going. And point cut that in. Just like that. And as you can see, our shape is starting to form in here. Woo! Gosh. When I go back to Cleveland next week, I'm gonna give this haircut to my mom. We're gonna give her some adventure. So now what I'm doing is I'm bringing this hair down here out, but it's not up here. I'm bringing it out more towards the face frame. And I'm just texturizing it right now. We're texturizing it. So now we're gonna give it some more texture, because once again, it has to be nice and piecey. Hold on, I'm gonna spin her around here so you guys can see this side here too. So I'm keeping it low, nice and low here. Now we're just point cutting that in, just like this. Now here we go. Now I want to throw in some more texture in this. So we're going to go through, once again, vertical sections. We're going to do that pie, the same old pie that we did before. We're going to do the same exact thing, but this time I'm going to go through and lightly shut it. As I cut it, I go right underneath my section, just like this, and I go ahead and I start to push it forward. This is kind of like teasing it with the hair, but this is going to start to remove some of that weight and give me some movement I want to see, especially in the top. That's the cherry on top. That's what everyone's going to see, right? So we want this right here. So I'm going right through just like this, and I'm almost like teasing it down just like this, just to give it that movement. And there's definitely like versions of this too, where woo, she's all moving on me. She's losing her head over this. But there's versions of this that are extreme, where it's super, super, super short. And then it goes into a really, really extreme mullet in the back. So you can do that as well too. So that's definitely a version that you can do. Miley Cyrus, she's one that had, that really, really, really extreme version of it. The longer version kind of reminds me, I don't know if y'all remember this, when Britney Spears back in the day when she did like Vegas, like back in the day, not when she had the residency. She did a show there, but she had something similar of a cut like this that was pretty badass. So if you want to check it out, I'll put her picture down in the comments below here once I find it. It's good to go ahead and like have a Pinterest. If you don't have a Pinterest already, it's good to go ahead and create a nice little Pinterest with all the different haircuts that are available. Because the one thing that's, with clients and with stylists is everyone has a different idea of something. So if you have a visual that you can give your clients so they can see it, then they're like, okay. Back in the day, we would have to cut out pictures in a magazine and put them and make our own little magazine out of it and show them like, ooh, this is a square layer. Yo, we don't have to do that anymore. We have a thing called Pinterest, which is very beautiful. Just get an iPad, a nice iPad, throw Pinterest on there, and then you can go ahead and see all the different haircuts, hair colors, balayages, you name it. So there we go, I'm just going through here again. And now I'm just going through and I'm feeling for balance. So I'm going through and I'm feeling each side for balance. We are feeling each side for balance here. And if there is a side that needs adjusting or needs a little texturizing that feels a little thick, I'm just gonna slightly, almost like tease the ends a little bit. So once again, this is a very texturized haircut. Now she needs to see a little bit more. So I'm gonna take this a little bit shorter in the front so you can see a little bit more of her eyeballs here. So we're gonna bring this a little bit shorter. Remember, it's easier to go shorter than to go longer. I call it tiptoeing to the perfect length, that way it's, especially if it's a client's first time, you wanna tiptoe to that perfect length, especially that way they're gonna come back and see you. So once again, see how I take that middle section here? Do you guys see how it's starting to really, now she has been smoothed out, I did more of a flat wrap on her. So this is gonna bounce up a little bit. So that's why I'm not taking it too short here. But all it is, just to create that nice little peak in the middle here, we're gonna take a small little triangle, just like this, small little triangle. This is like what's gonna fall down here. So I'm first creating that line down there, and then I'm layering it up so there's movement. It's not heavy. Just like that. Pretty cool, you guys. What do you guys think so far? Hold on, I'm looking down at the chats here right now. How are you guys doing out there? Hi Karen, welcome. We're doing the wolf haircut today. So we're doing the wolf haircut, a longer version. For those of you that are just joining on again, we did a shorter version earlier today. This is what she looks like, shorter and styled. But I'm gonna actually go ahead and style her for you guys in real time on my personal Instagram. So we're gonna go at 2 o'clock today on my personal Instagram, so I can go ahead and style her with all the tools, all the stuff, so you guys can see how to go ahead and do that as well too. So once again, I'm just going through for the cut to make sure we're good to go. She's looking pretty good. I'm gonna grab my new Smart X dryer from Bionic. And what I'm gonna do, you guys, just to kind of show you guys the separation and the pieciness right now, I'm gonna put this on cool. If you guys can still hear me, I'm gonna put this on cool, and then I'm gonna grab the texture spray. So we're gonna grab the dry texture spray from Lonza, and we're gonna go ahead and use whatever texture that she has right now. So I'm not using any tools right now. Well, I'm using the dryer right now, but that's about it. And I'm gonna go through, and we're just gonna go ahead and hit it up, really get that texture in her hair. And I'm doing it all forward right now. And I'll bring the blow dryer up front like this, just to give it that movement. I'm laughing because my mannequin has eyelashes. Her eyelashes are gonna be like... So I'm going through and just adding some dry texture spray in there, just like this, to really bring out that texture. And then with my dryer here, I'm just gonna go through and just kind of, the dryer is a great tool to really kind of move the hair around for you, instead of going through and brushing it, because you want the pieciness of the hair. And we're gonna go on to this side over here. And I'm shaking it more towards the front. The bangs here, give it a little shaky, 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 just like this. And then we're gonna spin her around here so you can see the back. We're just gonna go ahead and shaky, shaky, shaky. And then what you can do is, after you use the dryer, you can go through and just kind of personalize it up. So grab your spray here again, and we're just gonna go ahead and kind of lift it up by the roots. Oh my gosh, we're so barbaric. We're gonna lift up, just kind of do this little claw motion to kind of get some height in the back there. So once again, this is more of a, we didn't use any curls, or like this one right here, I used an iron to really give me more of a wave look to it. So this is what she would look like if she was at home, she didn't want to use any tools. This is what it would be. I'm gonna spin her around here this way too. So the way she's gonna be wearing this is, I'm gonna be bringing these bangs out towards this way. We really want to get that pieciness in the bang happening here. And then we're gonna go on to the other side and do the same exact thing. So we want those bangs to kind of go outwards. As I said that, I was thinking of that comedian, was it Angela? Angela, where she's like, no, honey, it's your finger, go like this. We want the bang to go like this. But you'll see, on her, she has very, she's straighter hair, so using the tool is gonna really give us that movement, which you're gonna see today at 2 o'clock on my Instagram Live. I'll be sharing you how to go ahead and do that on the mannequin. But you guys, this is what she looks like. What do you guys think? Yes? Pretty cool. Hi, Pat. Welcome.